Alright, I'm on the Ammonoosuc Ravine Trail, heading up to Mount Monroe by way of the Lakes of the Clouds hut. The hut's 2.1 miles from where I am presently, and Monroe's maybe, I don't know, a third or half a mile beyond that. I have never been up on Mount Monroe. I attempted it back in January with an Appalachian Mountain Club trip, but you know, conditions were pretty hairy that day, visibility low, high wind chill, high winds, and, you know, ton of snow. So this is much different than the last time I was on this trail. I know it gets pretty darn steep before you break tree line, so should be interesting to see what this looks like in the summer. And as far as what it's like up there, we'll see. I think things are supposed to improve during the course of the day today. Maybe even Washington might break out of the clouds. So we'll see. It'd be nice to get a view up there, but otherwise, it should be a nice adventure. Alright, so I'm stopped here for my first water and snack break. Right here in front of me is the first sign that I'm going to start climbing pretty quick. The first, I don't know, mile or so really gained very gradually. I am at 3,200 feet somehow, but it feels like I've barely climbed at all. So I think this is the start of what will turn into the steep section. You know, I've only gone a little bit further and you're seeing sure signs of the trees getting thinner in coverage, maybe a bit smaller, but they will get a lot smaller before we get to tree line. Apparently we're now in the latter stage. Alright, we've reached the hut basically. There's some outbuildings over to the left, and you can see the hut through the mists there.
Was it hard?
Yeah, it was pretty hard. I IG, so I can follow you guys. Yeah.
Alright, I'm currently here. I'm going to go tag Monroe, which is only 300 feet in elevation gain from here, come back down. And I don't really want to go back down the ammo trail, so I'm going to navigate over to the cog. And then there's a question as to whether I just want to tag Washington. But I'll make the final call after I come down from Monroe as to whether I'm going to make this cutoff or go up the Crawford path to come within spitting distance of the summit. So that's the plan. I'm going to try to come down the cog in part just to scout what a ski down that would be. All right, well, I'm on the leeward side of that thing, so the wind has died down. I think we're close. That could be a false summit, you never know. Crawford path, heading over to in the direction of Washington. General objective is to get to the Cog Railway. There's a couple ways to get there. One of them takes me within spitting distance of the Washington summit. So I'm gonna walk along to see how I feel, decide whether I want to make it take a shot at Washington. The distance isn't much of a difference between going straight to Cog, but we'll see. I mean, I never really wanted to summit Washington until I did it in the winter, and preferably by the Landhead winter route. I've been scheduled to do a Washington in the winter twice, and just the weather didn't cooperate, so we got above tree line and turned around. I feel like I'm going to be this close, I might as well go and tag it if I feel up to it. And I do think the way down from the Cog will be pretty mild.
That's a tough one to take a picture of.
Yeah, it might be more of like a sprint.
Look at this. This is like a weather station here. Measuring wind speed right above the hut. Just keeping it in mind. Lots of looking to see if they have the data. Alright. I'm well into the above tree line area in the Alpine zone. Mount Washington. At 5,500 feet, which means I'm 200 feet above Monroe and still, call it 800 feet below Washington. So someone had the good idea of putting pieces of marble on top of these cairns so they're slightly more visible as compared to what's around on this giant rock pile I'm on. Now, there are some big marble stones out there, so you can't take it for granted that they marked the trail, but the top of the cairn is pretty visible. See that one? so bad. The poles help keep your stability, and it's really not that steep. And I found this to be the case with the presidential range. The lower slopes are actually a lot steeper than the upper slopes. My understanding is that because they were formed by two different geological events, the upper slopes haven't been formed much earlier and been subject to a lot more erosion, and the lower slopes being a lot newer. So this is going up, it's not bad. Going down, I imagine, is not fun, and I'm sure I'll get a fair amount of that. But this is, you know, I would say a good deal easier than that last stretch of the Ammo Trail. .6 of a mile, I'm going for it. It's definitely got a little bit steeper in the last couple tenths of a mile. All right, the GPS says I just crossed 6,000 feet. 6,054 in fact. So I'm 250 feet below the summit. I think this might be Jacob's Ladder on the Cog Railway. And I find it notable how little the Cog Railway ascribes to the value of leave no trace. It's just a dump out here. There's a lot of coal everywhere. Wood beams, rails. It's kind of a mess. You'd almost think this is a volcano I'm hiking down. So I think maybe that's Jacob's Ladder. In any event, you can see the Cog base station in my car is not that far from there. So apparently I have another couple thousand feet of elevation to lose here, but it looks close. First time I've had anything resembling a view today. See the Washington Hotel in the distance, beyond the Cog Rail base station. We're getting there. Here's the mid station for the Cog. Might go sit at one of those picnic tables for a minute. Alright, well that was fun. Glad I tagged Washington. Wasn't that far out of the way. I was going to take the cog down anyway. Cog looked good for skiing, so I'm excited about that. I'll certainly be back there in the wintertime. So until next time,